It was the big game Wednesday night, Newfoundland and Ontario. Newfoundland all alone in first place until they met Ontario's Russ Howard. They lost 7-1 and now drop into a second place tie, leaving Quebec all alone in first place. The Alberta rink of Pat Ryan, a heavy pre-Brier favorite, but the Ryan Express has been run off the rails so far. Their record 4-3, and so this is a must-win game for Pat Ryan and Alberta. Our feature matchup in round 12 of the 1987 Labatt Brier has Alberta against Newfoundland. TSN proudly presents the most comprehensive curling coverage in Canada. It's the 12th round of the 1987 Labatt Brier. And let's bring you up to date on the final scores in round 11 of this 1987 Labatt Brier. There you see New Brunswick. Gary Mitchell won again, 8-6 over Prince Edward Island. It was Northern Ontario beating Saskatchewan 9-1. Ontario 7-1 over Newfoundland. Quebec beats the Territories 9-4. And BC over Manitoba 7-4. And so here are the standings heading into this 12th round of the 1987 Labatt Brier. And there you see all alone in first place with a record of 6-1 is Quebec. Ontario and Newfoundland, they're tied at 6-2. Then New Brunswick, British Columbia 5-3. And you see Alberta at 4-3. And oh, how important it will be for Pat Ryan in this game. Manitoba, Territories, outside chance now at 4-4. The rest, you'd have to say, are out of it. Prince Edward Island, Northern Ontario, Saskatchewan, and Nova Scotia. Hello, everybody. Welcome again to the Agricom here in Edmonton as we get ready for this 12th round of the 1987 Labatt Brier. And joining me, as always, our expert analyst, Ray Turnbull. And they just continue to trade places on top of the standings. Now it's Quebec on top.
Well, that's right. You know, Vic, it's been sort of take my turn, your turn kind of a situation. But this is a very, very big game for Pat Ryan right now. And I think 4 losses. Let's remember this, that only 3 teams qualify for the playoffs, where the winner of the round robin gets a bye into the finals. So 4 losses is beginning to look, it's going to be very, very difficult.
All right, so at 6-1 you have Quebec. Then next at 6-2 you have Ontario and Newfoundland. You'd have to say they're in a pretty good position.
I think so, for sure. Once again, I like Russ Howard. I like his position. And if you look at the draw that's coming up, for example, Quebec has a very tough game again tonight, and they play New Brunswick right now. So
right.
So their road is tough. BC, there's no easy track, but I like what I see for BC coming up.
All right, let's talk about a little bit about the skips and the fact that maybe some people think that Newfoundland is ready to crack, and that last night was just the beginning of the end for Mark Noseworthy.
We just had a bit of trouble with the ice last night, but we figure we can pick it up today, and it's a big game for us. We have 3 big games left. We're not as short of a playoff spot left. This is a big game because we got Quebec tonight, and we'd rather be 7-2 going into that one than 6-3. So we're looking for big things this game.
Yeah, we've been topsy-turvy this week. We've been winning one, losing one. We've got a very big game ahead of us here against Newfoundland. They're ahead of us in standings right now. I think if we beat them, we'll be tied with them. It's an important one for us. We're playing a little bit better as a team. I should say more, I'm calling the ice a little bit better. The team, all the members are throwing the rock well, and they have been all week. It's just been a matter of inches here and there and maybe a few missed opportunities. But there's quite a strong field here this year. We're finding that every team is playing well. We've got to play a little bit more sharper and capitalize a little bit more.
Interesting, Mark Noseworthy says he and the rink still have a lot of confidence, while Pat Ryan takes a lot of the blame for the inconsistency of Alberta.
Yeah, well, I think you heard Pat say, you know, he just has maybe struggling with the ice a little bit, but they feel a little better about it, and he's going to be very difficult to beat. He also knows, I think the boys know, that they can't afford to lose any more games. It's starting to look, as I mentioned earlier, that 3 losses will be fine, but 4 is tough shape. Mark, you know, they throw it so good. You heard Luke talk about it last night. Eddie Lukovic, they have good releases, they throw the rock well, and they know the game. So they're deserving of where they are, and Pat knows that. He's going to have to play well to beat them.
Of course, we will keep you up to date on all the games in this 12th round, but now let's meet our 2 teams in our feature game. And we start with the team from Newfoundland, and from left to right, their lead is Robert Thomas, Eugene Trickett, Randy Perry, and the skip is Mark Noseworthy. The team from Alberta, from left to right, their lead, Roy Hebert, Don Walchuk, Randy Ferbey, and the veteran skip is Pat Ryan. Another sellout crowd making its way into the Agricom here in Edmonton for this 12th round. Let's show you the other games on the ice. It'll be Manitoba 4-4 against Saskatchewan. Big game for Brian Fowler out of the Brandon Curling Club. Nova Scotia against British Columbia 5-3. Bernie Sparks and his Vancouver Curling Club getting it together slowly. New Brunswick 5-3 against Quebec. Quebec all alone in first place. We'll keep an eye on that one for sure. Alberta 4-3 against Newfoundland. That's our feature game. And on sheet E, it's Ontario tied for second right now. Russ Howard 6-2 against the Territories. Al Delmage at a Yellowknife at 4-4.
Well, you know, Vic, it's kind of conspicuous by this standings here, that their absence in the top half of the standings are Saskatchewan, you know, Manitoba, Northern Ontario, teams that we really expected to be on the top half of this page and not on the bottom half of it. And you know, those teams are going to have a strong bearing, I believe, on the outcome of this Brier, because they're too good to not be able to beat some of these teams. So we'll have to keep an eye on Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Northern Ontario.
Yep.
This is a big game for both the teams, especially for Pat Ryan. And I think you'll find that you know, he'll take a run at Mark early and try and put some pressure on him.
Newfoundland, Ray, has won the coin toss, so it will be Alberta throwing the first rock, and their lead is Roy Hebert, a 26-year-old IBM analyst, to get us underway. And there's the skip, Pat Ryan, going back, making sure he has everything before the game begins, getting another brush up front.
Let's talk about the toss. That's something that's new this year. For example, that the team that wins this round robin will finish first and go into the final for the Canadian Championship. And on the strength of their winning the round robin and finishing first, they will be awarded the last rock in that first end.
That's a little extra plum. And most of the curlers I've talked to like the idea, because when, you know, if you go through and win the round robin, maybe as well as the bye, they should say there should be something extra.
Well, you know, some of the statistics are starting to show that flip can be so important. And also, the second place team will get the last rock in the first end in the semifinal.
The first stone of the Alberta League. This is Roy Hebert.
Top of the forefoot. So, you know, just to run over some things for our viewers, we'll talk a little bit about the fact that all the teams practice on the sheet they're playing on before the game starts. So there's really no excuse for not knowing the weight. And actually, you know, we're into the late stages of the 11th, the 12th draw. So they have a good feel for how it runs as well.
The Newfoundland lead, Bob Thomas gets the nose hit and a little bit of a roll, and he'll roll to the right side of the center line, fully in the 4.
Had a long talk with the ice-making people here just before the game started, and they shaved it all down this morning. And you know, they were trying to get a little bit more action into that center line area. So we'll have to see what happens. And as we go through the game, we'll try and diagram the ice for our viewers and point out some things that I think that you'll find interesting. In turn hit.
The second stone for Roy Hebert, the Alberta lead just underway. First end of this 12th round game.
A little bit more action here. That one curled a little bit in towards the center line.
An indication that center line is still very slick.
Very fast, but it certainly moved, and that's the area of the ice, Vic, that we haven't seen much movement in. So it's kind of interesting. Here's the call that we've talked about a number of times. Now, Mark Noseworthy has last rock, so he could split the wings and lie too. He does have advantage of last rock in this game, so that's kind of the standard thing that people will do. But one of the strategy ploys that's being utilized now is the fact that because it's early in the end, in other words, your leads and seconds are still throwing, what they do is they guard this stone a couple times, and knowing that your opposition will run it off, and then you'll go to the opposite side of the rings and only have to exchange rocks 2 or 3 times to get your 2 points. And that's exactly what he's done.
Bob Thomas with his stone maybe came over just a little too far off that center line, because it looks like almost that whole rock in the 4-foot is exposed.
Well, I don't think he can see all of it, Vic, but he can certainly see a little bit of it. Here's the out turn.
Alberta second, Don Walchuk and his first stone.
Let's watch it run here now. Right down the center. Here it comes a bit. There's been lots of movement in this area to date. Good shot by Donnie.
And he gets a little roll, sits right on the center line, top of the button.
Now it'll be interesting to see what Mark does here. If he goes to the out turn or the in turn. I think we just have right-handers today, don't we? I gotta look through here. 8 right-handers. You gotta be on your toes, you know that.
There are 4 lefties in this 1987 Labatt Brier.
Gino, as they call him, an out-turn hit. Now let's watch the center line. They've been running very straight here. Little movement. He hasn't got a lot of weight. Now when it gets off that center, it really, really works. And that one did too. Not a lot of weight on that shot either. There's the call by Pat. The out-turn draw.
So now he's going to duck in behind.
He's taking a little more ice than we're taking earlier on the weekend. This shot. So we'll see how it works. It's got the broom in about the brush in about the middle of the forefoot.
For Don Walchuk, the Alberta second, and his second stone. Randy Ferbey works the front brush. Roy Hebert, the back brush.
Don Walchuk's at 86%. He's on the front one. Well, Mark's not going to fool around. Even though he has last rock, he doesn't want that forefoot area covered, so he's going to hit this front stone. Eugene Trickett. This is kind of the pivotal day, Vic. This is the day that we're going to find out who's who.
This is the second stone for the Newfoundland second.
It's a big day for Mark Noseworthy and the boys from the Rock because, they play Alberta now and then they get a shot at Quebec tonight. So they have their own destiny right in their hands. They only have the 2 losses. They're in great shape.
The Alberta third, that's Randy Ferbey. This will be his first stone, playing the first end.
In-turn draw. Here it comes. Boy, that really came over the center line quickly, and you can see where it's going to hit the Newfoundland stone right on the nose.
Going to raise it back. Will it have enough?
It's quite enough. I think Mark's got to go now. He's got to go in. I just forget about those front stones. There's no point. The game of pressure. He's got the hammer in this end. They should know the weight. They practice on the sheet, Vic. So
Come around. All right.
Sure, come around. That's it, Randy. They're looking at the raise, and that's fine too, but play one of the 2.
Play tap. Tap's fine. Play tap.
The center line play has been pretty inconsistent, so this is a good call. You either come around it or you play the raise, and I think he's decided to play the raise. So as opposed to coming around, he's going to play the stone back onto this here like that, driving this one back into this area here. And it's a good opportunity. Hands a little wavy in the morning.
You have a few coffees in the bloodstream.
I'm sure our viewers say, boy, that's pretty tricky ice out there. Here it comes now. Oh, it's got a good-looking shot. What a great shot is right. And the other good thing about that is the Alberta stone is not lined up. It could, if he hits it on the nose more, then the double raise would have been lined up.
Randy Perry with the shot to bump his stone back into the top of the 4.
You can see Pat looking at that angle raise, and it's not lined up, so he can't play the double raise out in front there. So he's got no alternative to play the, in-turn draw, try and freeze to the face of the stone. A good call by Mark Noseworthy and a good shot by Randy Perry.
The Alberta third, this is Randy Ferbey. Couple of Randys throwing
Yeah,
the
we're going to have
third.
to watch that, aren't we?
Each rink, yep.
Look at it come. Boy, I tell you, it's really working. That's a little bit of that's a touch different than what we've seen. It's a great opportunity for Mark, because if he gets a hit a little inside the outside roll and behind that corner guard.
You got the first, I mean, in case. Huh? I like to hit this. You want to go in there? What do you think? You got draw waist. Yeah. Nice curl there. Maybe we should try.
Just make sure you give me enough ice. See how you kick it.
Randy's saying, make sure you give me enough nice ice, because we just saw how that moves.
Well, I like the call. I mean, I thought maybe he might go over and play the hit and try and get the flip behind the corner guard, but no, he's going to come in behind. He's line shot. He's going to come in behind, and this is a good call. You can see how much the stone curls, and you heard Mark mention to Randy, boy, did that one ever curl? So, and Randy said, make sure you give me enough ice then. That was the replay. So he's not going to play the hit on that stone, Alberta stone. He's going to play the draw, in-turn draw around the long guard, and it's a good call, because even if it's short, he blocks Alberta's path, and he's got good lineup. They get it by. It's really working though.
Here it comes now.
Look at this. Oh, I'll tell you.
Right up on top, and it sits there at the face of that stone at the 4.
Well, they're stomping their feet in St. John's Curling Club right now, Vic. I can tell you, because that's a good call by Mark Noseworthy and a good shot by Randy Perry. They've come to play. The screech will be out down east.
Wondering about opening it up. Give me a double on the last one.
Yeah, don't blame him.
It's not an easy one to open up. If I draw into him, he's probably still going to be laying 2. Yeah. Pretty well have to play the... well, I can wing it, and I'll catch one of them, and one of them will go. The other way, if I play that soft thing and I just graze this, it's not going to do us any good. No. Well, it's up to you. Hack weight. Let's try to catch this one. Maybe we'll kick this one into the open.
Yeah. Well, there's the call. Hack weight. Now there's lots of movement.
Warm up that top one.
What he's going to do is try and come down here like so, hit this one here, moving this across like this, and this will come out like so. But, I don't think he can get both of them. Because you only throw hack weight.
Now, if you've never seen Pat Ryan before, he goes through this routine every time. He checks his slider, checks his little knee support, makes sure the proper side of the broom is down, and then he throws. And this will be his first stone in the first inning.
He's got good line. He threw exactly what he said he was going to do. He threw hack weight, and he got the front one with no problem, but there was no way he could move the back one.
Yeah.
And Mark's going to play the same shot, and it's a good call. If he can tuck it on top of it. There's the weight indication, 22-23.
As long as I don't hit the guard.
You heard what he said, as long as I don't hit the guard. You don't want to take that guard off. Even if you're a little short, you know, it's very difficult for Pat Ryan to get your shot rock out of there. You don't want to be looking at 3 the first end. Good chance for Mark. That was a good shot by Pat Ryan, by the way. Well, it's really moving. This is a different sheet of ice today, I'll tell you. It's really moving. They got to get it by. They did. Pretty good shot. Excellent shot. I think all Pat's got is to freeze down on the face of it. He could chip the back one out, but then he would probably lose his shooter.
Come down here, move him back to there, and sit there.
Yep, that's all he's got. Come down, tap it back.
I gotta actually, he dumped it, eh? He was about here. I gotta have a little more weight than him.
Here should be good.
Should be all right. I think we're far enough. I'm just going to be back ring, like we have to wait for it and we only bump it to there. At least if we're sitting there.
I'll tell you, they've certainly done some work on the center lines, because the center lines weren't working like that up until this point. The Rocks are having no problem getting up and over, and they're really coming down. It's a different sheet of ice today. We've covered this sheet 2 or 3 times, Dick.
Just going to tap that one of his back and sit on top. Okay, so I'm playing less weight.
There's a good look at the Rocks in the house, and you heard what he was going to do. He's going to try and tap the front and back.
Bump him to the back and sit in there. I don't want to roll. Yeah, but I just want to bump it back and sit on top of his other one.
That's it. No point me saying anything.
There's more draw than more draw. If we have a nice angle freeze, that's okay. Little bump though.
First end, a big shot, Dick.
Very big. He misses this, and it'll give Newfoundland a free draw for 3. The final stone for Pat Ryan and Alberta here in the first end.
This is a different sheet of ice, I'll tell you. That Rock just had no problem getting up. It's a good-looking shot. It depends on his weight. He doesn't want to roll in the oak. What a good... It just rolled. It's a shot that can be made because of the way the ice works. And Mark Noseworthy's got a shot at 3 here. And the
back line.
And the ice works enough so you can get that rock on the outside, get it on the...
So tough to judge.
Here it comes. You know, it really curls. It's maybe a touch too heavy. You wanted a little less weight. You wanted to flip in front of the Newfoundland stone, but it rolled a little too far, and it gives Mark Noseworthy, and these are what you call big shots, and this is how you win or lose games, right here. This rock will work. The ice is definitely a little different today. The center lines are not holding.
The final stone of this first end for Newfoundland and their skip, Mark Noseworthy, has a chance with a peel and a stay to count 3.
Has he got the weight? Has he got the weight? It's a good-looking shot, I think. Vicky's got a pistol. Yes, sir. All right, what a shot. Whew.
And that's why this rink has impressed so many people here at this 1987 Labatt Brier. A big 3-ender for Newfoundland to
Let's
get
take
us
a
going.
fast look at this, Dick. This is a fantastic shot. He throws it with exactly the right weight. Boy, I'll tell you, here it is again. They boys brush it. They brush it all the way. They hold it up. He catches it on the outside, pushes it past the stone, his own stone. 3 points, and what a way to start a curling game.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. A big 3 for Newfoundland, and they lead Alberta 3-0 when we come back.
There's heart in this land. It's there.
Romantic. What happens when you're not in bed?
Well, Pat will play. He'll take a little more ice. You can see this is definitely a different sheet of ice today. That center line You know, it's just so, you know, for our viewers that maybe haven't been with us all week, the center lines were running very, very straight. It was very difficult sort of to get up and over them, but there's been no problem today. They're curling right across the sheet, so a little bit of shaving they did last night sort of took that that little straightness out of it. There's no problem. Great freeze. Look at this here. Oh. What a good shot that is. That's why Don Walchuk is the leading second in this tournament. He's made shots like that all week.
Nice shot.
And Mark Noseworthy certainly acknowledges that too. And that's the nice thing about this game. You know, it's you know, you turn to your opposition, and that's what you should be saying is nice shot, because that's exactly what it is, a nice shot. That was, I'm sorry, that was Randy Ferbey's first stone. A great shot by Randy. Gonna tick it. Gonna miss it.
Randy Perry puts it by.
You couldn't just touch him. You just get the yellow.
Just to illustrate for our viewers, up until tonight, when you were playing into the center line like so, the rocks would not come. They would stay out, and they would come when they got over the center line, like so. But I'll just show you again. But today, you can see with the ice they're giving, there's all kinds of full movement like this.
Putting his brush down, now trailing 3-0 as they play the second end.
This
will be the first stone for Randy Ferbey.
That freeze by Randy Ferbey was just fabulous. Like, you know, I thought I said it was Don Walchuk, but it was Randy's shot. Great freeze. And that's how you set up 2 points with a shot like that. Well, it was. I better get back in this game. I'm doing so much drawing here. It was Don Walchuk.
It was Don Walchuk.
I thought, yeah.
Yep. It's the first stone by Randy Ferbey, and he takes it to the back of the 12.
Help me out, Vic, if I don't let me hang myself here.
I just watch you die.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just stumbling around. I gotta go now.
Hard to tell who's winning with that picture.
Not if you put, you can feel their pulses.
Just regular weight.
This will be the second stone for the Newfoundland third, Randy Perry.
Once he hit this right in the nose and stay there, then he'll be frozen to the Alberta stone. Staying out a bit. Is a double there? Is a double there? One. Oh, what a bad break. Well, our viewers can see what happened. He hit it a little thin, and it was going out, but it hit the stone that's just outside, hit a stone which is just outside the rings. One of his own stones. And now a free draw to lie 3 for Alberta. That is a bad break.
Here.
Here's a quick look at this. This is a bad break just before Randy throws. He hits it on the outside. He misses the double. And look at this stone. The Albertans will go across, hit one of his own and stay in the rings. And now a free draw to lie 3. And here it is.
The second stone for Randy Ferbey.
Alberta with last rock in this end. Randy looks a little strong. You don't want to get them too close. Otherwise, you'll line up a double for Mark. Pretty good shot, but they're pretty close. It gives Mark a chance to get out of this, maybe.
I think that should be good there.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't need more than that. I'm not going to zing it. Right there. Get a curl.
While Newfoundland discusses what they're going to do, let's go over to sheet A and the final stone for Saskatchewan. And there's skip Don Gardner facing a couple of Manitoba stones in the house, one at the button, fully protected. They can't get at it. So it's another steal of 1 by Manitoba. And as they go to the third, it's Manitoba 2, Saskatchewan nothing.
Well, this is a good opportunity for, for Mark. Randy came a little too tight. You can see the stones right there on your screen. And if Mark can make the double here, he can certainly get himself out of a little bit of a hole. As it stands now, Alberta with a chance to get their 3 points back. See how much it works. It should work here a little bit. Oh, he's going to hit it on the full side. No, sir. Well, they'll try and spread these rocks out now. Make sure they don't set up a double.
Yeah, I know. Too much weight.
You heard what he said. I know. Too much weight. I threw it too hard. And you also heard Pat Ryan say to Randy, let's listen.
Going with the shooter anyway, the double. So at least you have free draw for 2 anyway. Head to the 4. A little more.
This is amazing there. Look at the ice they're taking. We just didn't. This is a good example of what I was telling you, and I illustrated for you. Up until this point, up until this game, if you took that much ice, you wouldn't get anywhere near the center line.
At least a rock length in, so that if he knows that I can hit him.
He's playing the intern draw. He made a comment about Mark's intern, so. Pretty good numbers.
Again, an indication that the rink plays well. They just haven't gotten the breaks. There's the knee support.
Same ice as the freeze.
Well, there's the slider.
Take a little left. Little left.
And now he turns over the brew.
Had a little trouble reading the ice up until this point.
The first stone for Alberta skip Pat Ryan here in the second end, trailing 3-0, but he has something going here.
Here it comes now. It's got lots of weight. Good shot. You can't protect everything. The thing about this, though, Mark,
we'll get the roll.
Mark can make the double and get the roll.
Any triples here?
Now he's looking at a triple.
I don't think it is either. Just play for the double and roll. I'd like to make a double, though, if we can.
No, there's no triple, Vic. He'd be happy to get the double and the roll in front of the stone that sits in the back of the 12-foot at the 5 o'clock position. If he could do that, fabulous. He'll be happy with the double, believe me. Well, I would be happy with the double, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I just overthrew one. Which one?
I never order a single when I can have a double.
Well, certainly if he can make a double, that leaves a free draw for 2. And he'll still have a 1-point lead. A chance to get out of trouble now for Newfoundland. Skip Mark Noseworthy with his final stone here in the second end.
He rolled it over. He started it over. He yelled right away. It really goes here. No, sir. No, sir. He started it over. It's a hit for 3 points.
Out hit.
Pat's going to the other turn.
Sorry, son. All right, fine game. We still got last rock. Thanks, Wes. A little sloppy there himself.
This is the out turn. We haven't seen a lot of out turns down here, but
Not sure they were moving a bit, but
well, there's a big shot for Pat Ryan. A hit for 3 to tie this game up.
Wouldn't that be something, exchanging 3 enders? To begin this 12th round of 1987 Labatt Brier. Final stone, second end for Alberta and Pat Ryan. Going to go too far?
Perfect shot. There it is. Going to roll too far? I don't think so.
It'll hang around and we're all tied up. 3 for Newfoundland in the first. Alberta and Ryan respond with 3 in the second. And that's the way it stands. When we come back, it'll be the third end of this 12th round game.
Just when it seemed gray was the only color. Just when it seemed now the rainbow.
In Florida, Sunday, March 15th, starting at 1:30 p.m. Eastern.
Let's get you caught up on some of the other scores. Manitoba with that steal of 1 in the second now leads Saskatchewan 2-0, playing the third end. Nova Scotia has gotten on the board on a very good shot by Ted Henniger out of the Stellar Curling Club. He's facing 4 BC counters, and he has to draw around the guard, get that one right at the button, and the shot is good, and so it is now BC 3, Nova Scotia 1 as they play the third. They blanked the second end, and it remains Quebec leading New Brunswick 1-0. In our game, of course, 3 in the first, 3 in the third. We're all tied up. It's 3-3 Alberta and Newfoundland. And the Territories, Russ Howard struggling a bit early in this one. Gave up 2 and then a steal of 1. Trails 3-0 against the Territories.
Well, Pat Ryan threw his first rock to the top of the 4-foot, and Mark Noseworthy had Robert Thomas hit it, and he rolled out. And we see the situation right now with Pat drawing it right back to the front of the 8-foot.
That's the second stone of the Alberta lead, Roy Hebert. Top of the 8.
Playing the out-turn hit here.
For the Newfoundland lead, Robert Thomas.
Got it outside a little bit, stepped up the weight.
Gonna come back.
Got a corner, not quite enough. You know, what happens in a situation like that? You score 3 the first end, and you know, the adrenaline is flowing, and it's really psychologically a tough thing to accept when you give 3 right back, or, you know, give back a big end like that. And this is the time that Mark Noseworthy's got to kind of get the team to kind of together and group themselves and say, now look, you know, we got 3. If we hadn't got that 3, we'd be down 3. This game is tied. And these are the kind of things that you can mentally prepare yourself for, and it's, you know, these are the things that teams should be doing. The ability to be able to kind of handle those, you know, those slight depressions that occur, you know, after something like this. This game is concentration. You must concentrate.
This is the first stone for the Alberta second. Don Walchuk here in the third end.
10 hands to play. A good guard. Pat was guarding it, and he knows and feels this. I mean, he can feel these things, you know, right now. So he'll want to keep the pressure on Mark. You know, he knows they're down a little bit, and that's what separates the good teams from the mediocre teams. The ability to be able to weather those kind of situations. And we've seen Pat Ryan come back 2 or 3 times this week, and that's why.
Hurry! Come on! Whoa!
Eugene Trickett's going to run off the front. Pat will put it right back up again.
Gets the peel, and the shooter rolls out as well. Just the 1 stone in the house sitting at the top of the 8. That belongs to Alberta. This will be the second stone for their second, Don Walchuk.
Another guard. The out turn. Staying out this time. Here it comes now. Covers about half of it.
Gene Trickett and his second stone.
See, but he's playing the front one off. You can see half of it. He's going to play the front one off. There it is now. Staying out a bit. Just misses it. Tried to split them off. The double was certainly there. Pat Ryan will put it right back up again. What Pat will try and do, and this is, something that you can, if you're following along and trying to understand the strategy of the game with this, Pat will, if he's going to leave any side exposed, in this case, the way the ice is working, he'll try and leave the outturn side exposed, because that outturn seems to run a little bit straighter, and hoping that when the thrower maybe tries to go at it, if he steps his weight up, it may run straight and he'll get his miss that way. But he'll keep the pressure on now. He knows psychologically he's maybe got a little bit of an advantage right here. Randy doesn't want to come in too deep. They're playing the guard. They don't want it up too tight and set up the double. And you can see that he's leaving the outturn side exposed a little bit. You'd love to see Mark go after that.
Run it off.
It's kind of a teaser,
Well, Mark didn't bite there, as he just said to Randy Perry, let's run it off.
But going back to that last end, Randy Perry got a really bad break when he was playing that hit on the two stones in the back of the 12-foot, and the Alberta stone was going out, but it hit a rock that was out of the rings. It stayed on as a biter, and that set up the possibility for 3. But those things are going to happen in the game of curling. He's playing the outturn hit here. Randy Perry. Scoop, they call him.
3.
This is the first stone for the Newfoundland third.
Take it over, Rob. Take it over. Over here.
This is the back one. This would be a replay. You'll play the same thing.
A lot more today.
Ah, hear that? Hear what Mark said there, Vic? Swinging a lot more today. It certainly is.
Randy Ferbey, second stone. Just looking for another guard.
Gotta move. Clean. On good, clean. Let it move. Clean, clean, clean. Halfway over. At the end. Come on now, hurry. Hurry. Right over.
Oh, they left it a little bit, we get a look at it here. You'll see Mark. They left it a little bit more exposed than they wanted to, I think. It does give Randy Perry a chance to come down and get the shot stone. He's gone to this outturn now.
Okay.
The thing Randy Perry can't do here is overthrow this, because if it curls and he splits off the front one, it's not a bad shot. But you can't, pitch this and overthrow it. And he has it.
Randy Perry and his second stone.
He's got good line. He's got good line. If it works a little bit for him right now, he's got the beautiful weight.
And the shooter. And it'll just hang around on the edge
That's a
of the
great
draw.
shot. That is and note the weight, Vic. The weight was the key there.
Well, considering the fact that you said that outturn would run a little straighter.
Well, it did, too. I mean, they didn't take that much ice, and he threw it very quietly, and it still hit it on the outside.
Ray, let's go over to sheet A in the final stone for Saskatchewan. They're already trailing 2-0. Final stone, Don Gardner, facing a couple of Manitoba counters. He gets the one, but the shooter rolls just a little too far. Another steal of 1 for Manitoba as they play the fourth. It's Manitoba 3, Saskatchewan 0.
Well, Pat has no option but to hit the stone, the one that's biting the 12-foot. He wants to stick here, and it'll be interesting to see what Mark does if he does stick. It's the outturn he's playing. He's going to keep his weight up, I can assure you that.
The first stone for Alberta skip Pat Ryan.
Really running straight. They want the roll if they can get it. Good shot. Well, Mark's gonna hit this and try and roll in behind that center line guard. It's a good call.
With Pat's shot there, the fact that he rolled towards the center line, that just lessens up the roll now for Newfoundland. Wouldn't it have been better just to hit and stay there?
Yeah, that's right. If he hit it on the nose, though, you know, it might entice Mark into playing the come around himself and ignoring it. I think I would certainly be considering that. This is a game of opportunities, and you really have to jump when you get them. But it has rolled into the 8-foot, so I think in this case I would play what he's playing, try to get the roll behind the center line guard.
Hit and stay here. The one takes the draw.
That's right. If you roll out, then he'll get the chance to go in first on you. Can't. It's got a good line. They want a little roll now if they can get it.
There's the hit.
Yes,
there's the roll. How far will it go?
I don't think quite far enough.
Back of the 4.
Good shot, though, by Mark. Well, Pat will try and hit and stick and force Mark to hit and roll out. There's a good look at it from behind. You can see it's wide open. You know, Pat would love to get the little hit and roll behind that center line guard. That would force Mark Noseworthy into drawing for 1. This is the kind of games you really, really got to get yourself together. This is where mental preparation is so important to the game of curling. You know, you're playing one of the heavy favorites, and he's been struggling. You got 3 on the first end. He got 3 back the second end. He wanted to roll the other way a bit, but he'll take it.
And well, remember, how many had there? For the roll in. No, not that much. No, hang on, no. Yeah, that's better. It's fine.
Yeah, he'll try and hit this and roll out. He's just adjusting the ice.
Well rolled off.
Here's the ice. He's taking 3-4 inches of ice, playing the out turn. He'll probably throw a little bit more weight on this, I would think. But, you know, I like Kevin Adams' expression when it comes to these situations. Take it away first. In other words, play the hit first.
Final stone of this third end for Newfoundland and their skip, Mark Noseworthy, looking to blank this end and go to 4 in a 3-3 tie.
They want to roll this out. And they're going to, I think.
Randy Perry works it. Does it hang around and bite? It does. He can't get it out. And so Newfoundland will score 1. When we come back, Newfoundland has a 4-3 lead over Pat Ryan and Alberta.
Hello, I'm Ray Turnbull. I've been teaching curling around the world now for 20 years. And during that time, I've been able to help many curlers improve their game. And for the first time, you're going to be able to see this program at home on the Champions Curling Program.
11 world champions have trusted Ray Turnbull, and so can you. He'll show you the proper setup and body positioning to get you off on the right foot, the delivery motion, and how it will help you become a stronger curler. Learn the correct grips and the constant release point theory and why they will help your game. Brushing and sweeping and the benefits of each, plus some special tips Ray's developed over the years to make you a champion.
So whether you're a beginner or an experienced curler, I'm convinced this tape's going to help your game.
To order your 1-hour video cassette and instruction booklet, call 1-800-268-1121, operator 540. Use MasterCard or Visa, and please specify VHS or Beta. That's 1-800-268-1121.
Here are some of the other scores from the 12th round. It's 1987 Labatt Brier. There you see the Territories with 2 and then a steal of 1. They're still playing the third, leading Ontario and Russ Howard 3-0. In our game, Newfoundland couldn't hit and roll up 1. Lead Alberta now 4-3. A couple of blanks in 2 and 3, and Quebec continues to lead New Brunswick 1-0. They're playing the 4th. British Columbia continues to lead Nova Scotia 3-1 as they play the 3rd, and Bernie Sparks slowly makes his way back to the hack for his final stone of the third end. And Manitoba with steals of 1, 2, and 3 lead 3-0 over Saskatchewan. We go back now to sheet B, and this is the final stone of the end for British Columbia. There's the house. You see Jim Armstrong III with his brush down on that red stone. That belongs to Nova Scotia. Shot rock belongs to Nova Scotia, or to BC, pardon me. So they have a chance here to hit and stay for a couple, and that would give them a 5-1 lead. British Columbia coming in with a record of 5-3, and a very big game for them, because a loss, of course, would drop them to 4 losses, and that may be the gray area when it comes to playoff time at this 1987 Labatt Brier. The final stone of this third end, a chance for a couple for Bernie Sparks in British Columbia. They have to get it by that center line guard and then tap back. They can't. Look at it move. Now they start to raise. So they played the raise and they made it perfectly. Look at that, Ray. It looked as if they were trying to take out that stone of Nova Scotia, but he plays the raise and he picks up a couple. So give BC now a 5-1 lead over Nova Scotia as they go to the fourth end.
Well, we've just had an exchange of rocks in our game, Vic. Robert Thomas threw the first one to the top of the 4-foot. Roy Hebert played an out-turn hit and stuck. Robert Thomas played an out-turn hit and stuck. And we just had a hog line call on that sheet. Eugene Trickett, he had hit and stuck that stone with his first one and rolled to the outside, but he obviously had gone over the hog line. And now Pat Ryan has an opportunity to draw to the outside to lie 2, and that's exactly what he's doing. Don Walchuk, his first stone, out-turn draw to lie 2.
Lots of weight.
I think if you're Mark Noseworthy, you have to feel a little bit more confident coming back and picking up that one. Certainly he wanted to roll out blank, but the rink seemed to regain their composure if they were rattled after giving up 3 in the second.
Well, I mean, I'm not suggesting, Vic, that they were really upset or anything, but I just know that whether it be Mark Noseworthy or Ray Turnbull or Eddie Lukowicz, that's the kind of thing that you have to learn to control. You can't, it's a human nature instinct to be really disappointed when you get off to a good start and then give it back, so quickly. So, you can train yourself with some, to be able to handle those kind of situations, and you have to. This rock is really curling again. He's really cut his weight a bit. It could be a double. This would be a good shot to roll across the face, unfortunately. Had to hit it a little bit thinner. Just has to hit it a touch thinner. Here it is. Rolls across. Just missing the Alberta stone at the in the 12-foot. See it from the top. Just have it curl a little bit more, or if they brush it, you may have rolled over in front. Sometimes, the roll in front of the stone is just as good as the double. That's a decision the holder of the broom, in this case your skip, had to make.
Don Walchuk, his number is very good, and his second stone here in the fourth end.
In-turn draw to split the rings. Spread your rocks out.
Come on. I lost it.
Don Walchuk just, he set up that 3-ender with his perfect freeze, in end 2, and he's just curling so well. Once again, he splits the rings. He gets the stone well back. Randy Perry's first stone. Out-turn hit. got it well out there. They'll just put it back. Pat will just put the stone back. The in-turn draw. Certainly moves across. Has he got too much weight? No, it's going to hang on.
Right at the back of the 12. So Alberta here in the fourth, lying a pair.
Well, Mark will go over and play the other stone, the one on the other side now.
Ray, let's just go right next door to Sheet E. Final stone, Ontario. They're down 3-0. This the final stone for Skip Russ Howard, facing a couple of yellow stones belonging to the territories. And he draws the 4-foot. And so Ontario is on the board as they go to 4. Territories lead 3-1.
Al Dalmage set up that situation by making a double the previous shot, Vic, and otherwise Russ Howard would have had a draw for 2 or 3.
Randy Perry and his second stone.
Wants to hit and stick. That's a good shot because he rolls it over to the other side, which brings those two stones closer together. A good shot.
Roll. Nice roll.
Nice roll is right, Mark.
Let's draw here. We can move it.
You can see what he's doing here, Vic. And, you know, he's got to hold his shooter. So as opposed to hitting this, and this is exactly the way the top teams will play. He's just playing the in-turn draw just to move it back 2 or 3 inches.
Randy Ferbey and his second stone here in the fourth end.
It's going to curl a long way, I'll tell you. Has he got the weight? I don't know if he threw it inside or they just didn't take enough ice. You're looking at a different sheet of ice today.
Yeah, just know where it is, just in case. And I mean, it's there. If we lose the shooter, we make the double.
Oh, I finished on top of the guard.
First hand.
Yeah, I remember. I had a lot of. Oh, yeah.
It's a good opportunity for Mark because, you know, if he hits this and sticks, he lies 2. And you heard his comment. He said if we hit it on the outside like so, we can hit, roll, and stick a little bit, and we might even catch the double.
The Newfoundland skip, Mark Noseworthy, and this is his first stone.
It'll come, though. Be careful, boys. Because the double's there.
And he just tries it in between.
A good call. You heard what he said when he left. If we lose the shooter, I'll get the double. But let's hit it and stick. And he got the roll away. It's a good shot.
And he is now shot. In fact, they're probably first and second shot.
They are first and second shot. There's no probably about it.
Good call. Double. Fine. I want to do it and stay anyway. It'd be better. There's one. Goals only by shooting outside or hung out on us.
Good communication and good comments by Mark Noseworthy. He said to Randy, "Good call," and that's what it was. It was a good call, and it's so vital that you're third to make those calls for you. Many games are won and lost on the ability for your third man to, to call the rocks properly.
Normal.
Those two yellow stones, they belong to Newfoundland.
And a hotline violation set up the possibility of Alberta getting 2, but Randy Ferbey came up a little bit short on his draw, and it curled a little more than they expected, and Mark's got himself out of this now.
First stone for Pat Ryan here in the 4th end.
These are the kind of shots he loves. He wants to roll it right over.
Rolls, but not far enough.
Well, the thing about this now, Mark has to hit the stick.
All right, we're up here. Yeah. Oh, sure. I'm not going to throw him much for the seeders. Yeah.
Here's what he's looking at. We see it from the top, and he wants to hit and stick here and force Alberta to get one. He'd like to roll away, roll away from his own stone so he doesn't set up a double. A little bit more, he says.
Not throwing as much weight as he does.
In turn. Got to get full to the broom here because it really comes across. Yeah! Here it comes. You want to hit it on the outside, not the inside. You want to hurry it. It's going to roll close. I think Alberta's got a hit for 2. Just need a little more ice. Yeah, Alberta has a hit for 2 here. Mark rolled the wrong way. He wanted to go the other way with it, Vic.
We're laying second.
Pat tells us.
That's it. We just be quiet and see what happens.
That's right. They're going to take the game away from us, aren't they?
That's okay. That's
cleaning,
fantastic.
Oh, takes you right inside the game.
On this shot. They seem to fall out when we sweep them hard. Yet if you don't, you can lose them. They just lost their laughing because they weren't cleaning.
That's right, they did.
How's it?
You had to have faith and brush it all away. Looks good to me.
Has a chance for a pair with a hit and a stick, and there it is. So Pat Ryan has his rink in front, and after 4 complete ends in his 12th round of 1987 Labatt Brier, it's Alberta 5 and Newfoundland 4.
There's a road 170,000 kilometers long, stretching in.
Larry Robinson and Rick Green will try to hold down the 4th. It's a classic matchup with 2 of the best. The Islanders and the Habs, Monday, March 16th, starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on TSN.
Another standing room only crowd here for this 12th round of 1987 Labatt Brier at the Agricom in Edmonton. And let's get you caught up on the scores. And they have blanked the 4th end. Manitoba continues to lead Saskatchewan 3-0, playing the 5th. British Columbia with that 2 in the 3rd continues to lead 5-1 over Nova Scotia. 5-1 BC and Bernie Sparks leading. New Brunswick with a draw to score 1 in the 4th after a couple of blanks, now tied with Quebec. 1-1. Gerry Mitchell, Thistle St. Andrews playing very well. Alberta with 2 in the 4th, now leads 5-4 as they go to the 5th end. And Russ Howard, Ontario, as we showed you, picked up 1 in the 3rd, still trails 3-1 to the Territories.
I like more and more what I see about Mark Noseworthy because, Pat Ryan played the first stone into the 4-foot. That's the red Alberta stone sitting at the back of the 4-foot, and Mark Noseworthy drew to the face of it. And you either do that or you ignore it and throw up the corner guard. But because it's in the 4-foot, I think in this situation, the freeze is the best of the two shots. And you're going to have to play this way. You saw Pat Ryan do it. The last end, Mark had a chance to get out of it by hitting and just staying for 2, but he rolled too far, giving Pat Ryan the hit for for 2 points. But you got to kind of like what Mark, what you see from Mark, because to play this game and to win at the national and international level, you really have to have a stomach and, you know, for trying those things, because they always don't work. So when they don't work, Mr. Router, you're going to have to save the end by coming down and maybe making that cold draw to the forefoot. And one of my theories in curling, and especially when you come to skipping, is that if you can't draw, you can't skip.
Well, in some of the games that we've shown with Newfoundland, he certainly isn't afraid of the challenge. He plays, well, maybe as a more experienced player. I mean, but that's the point we've tried to make all week long. That look at what Ed Lukowicz said to us, that in fact he had them picked for 8th spot.
Out. Or hit and roll here. House hit.
This is Don Walchuk.
Right up.
And his first stone here in the 5th end.
Good shot. I think Mark will probably come down to these two now, or he may hit and try and roll in front of the other one. Let's see what he does. Here's a situation. He's going to play the threes, and you got to do that kind of stuff if you're going to win. He indicated that. I think he may have changed his mind, Vic. He may be playing the out-turn hit. He's taking a lot of ice. He's just playing the draw down to it. Playing it quietly. Eugene's got good lines. It's a matter of his weight. I think they should leave it a bit. He wanted to try and keep that Alberta stone in the rings at the back. It just was a little bit too strong.
That's the first shot for Gene Trickett.
Yeah, normal. Just normal.
Normal weight. In-turn hit. Don Walchuk. Got to see what Mark plays. I think he'll play the hit and roll in front this time. That rock is well in the forefoot, so it's a little dangerous maybe to draw to. A good shot in these kind of situations is just to kind of tap them back. But he's going to indicate the way. He's going to play the out-turn hit with Eugene Trickett and try and roll in front of the other one. Roll in front of the Alberta stone. He'll hit this shot sitting in the forefoot. Try and flip over in front of the stone that's in 8 foot at the 5 o'clock position. There it is. Good shot. Gino.
Normal. It runs nice down. It curls a bit.
This will be the first stone for the Alberta third. This is Randy Ferbey.
Well, good shot by Randy.
And rolls right in front.
You can kind of just feel the momentum a little bit, Vic. Mark's got to hit this, make the double. Hope for an open miss to get his 2 points, and if not, hope to then they can maybe blank the end and start it up in the 6th. He skipped a good end to this point. It's just that these rocks are in the forefoot, so you hit this and Randy Perry, the in-turn. 1-2. Good shot, Randy. Want to get that right out. You saw how a rock in that area caused a problem for Mark in that second end. He's got a lot of the rings, and it's just maybe in this case it can work for him. You know, if Randy happens to roll out here, then you know, then Mark can play down to the face of that stone, the Alberta stone that they just got out of the rings. In-turn hit.
Randy Ferbey, second stone. And the shooter rolls into the back of the 8.
Well, that's good for Mark because he can hit now. He can hit this and roll in front. You see his indication there, Vic?
Ray, let's go over to sheet A. Final stone for Saskatchewan. They trail Manitoba 3-0, playing the 5th. And the skip, Don Gardner, looking to hit and stay and get on the board. And he does just that. And so as they take their 5th end break, it is Manitoba 3, Saskatchewan 1.
Well, Mark wants this hit and roll. He's playing the out turn. He wants to roll in front of the stone, the Alberta stone that sits just outside the rings at about the 730 position. He's brushing it.
Straight up.
No roll, Dick. Well, I think that Pat would like to roll away from this side of the sheet. He'll try and move the rock away so that Mark doesn't get a chance to roll over. He'll want to stick, though, or he allows Mark to draw down to the face of that stone, the Alberta stone that's just out.
This will be the first stone for the Alberta skip, Pat Ryan, here in the 5th end.
And that's exactly what he did, and that's what he wanted. A good shot by Pat Ryan. They really are starting to kind of put it all together.
Tighten it up a little bit. That long roll.
He wants to go across to the other side, try and get a little roll over in front of the stone. Mark skipped a good end. They played a good end. Just wasn't able to get anything going. He tried to, Vic, in the early part of the end when he played his freezes, and that's exactly what you have to do. And when it didn't work out, he just turned it around, and he's quite prepared now to slide through and maybe try and blank. Unfortunately, no roll.
Ray, let's go over final stone, sheet E, for Al Dalmage. Territories, 1 Ontario stone buried. He's trying the long raise, angle raise, can't get there. Steal of 1 for Ontario in the 4th, and as they go to 5, Territories leads 3-2.
That's it. Okay, it's just a hit here now. Vic, he just wants to hit this and stick and force, force Mark to play the hit, and hopefully Mark will stick, and that'll give Alberta the advantage of last rock going into that 6th end.
And Pat Ryan right on the mark with that hit and stick right on the back of the button.
I got it off the screen, he's drawing into that. Make it or wait. I got to hit that awful skinny drive into that. Jeez. Regular weight.
The final stone of this fifth end for Newfoundland. Mark Noseworthy looking for the hit and roll out to blank. Or he just might be happy with the one and after 5 be all tied. And there's the roll out, and so they will blank this fifth end. And so after 5 complete ends now in this 12th round game, it remains 5-4 Alberta leading. Let's check the other score. On sheet A, Manitoba leads Saskatchewan 3-1. They are now playing the 6th end. British Columbia playing the 5th with Nova Scotia. You see Jim Armstrong in the hack. They're playing third rocks there. BC leads Nova Scotia 6-1. Playing the 5th end, New Brunswick, Quebec, first place Quebec. They're all tied up, 1-1. In our game, Alberta with a blank in 5 leads 5-4 over Newfoundland. And that steal of 1 by Ontario in the 4th has narrowed it now. Russ Howard with a pair. Territory still leads though, 3-2 playing the 5th. Ray Turnbull has Pat Ryan.
Pat, the ice is a little bit different today, a little swingier.
Seems to be moving a little better to the middles. It's a nice change from the earlier in the week. So it looks like you get a center guard up there, you can be able to go around it.
Earlier in the week we couldn't get up over that center line, but they seem to be coming across fine.
Yeah, it does. It's moving. It seems to be moving really nicely now, which is going to make for a nice come-around game. If you're throwing the rock well, you should do well.
It's been a great game so far. Keep it going. Back to you, Vic.
Ray, thank you. And when we return, we will have the 6th end of this 12th round game and more coverage of the 1987 Labatt Brier live from the Agricom here in Edmonton. These fans have come a long way, and they've had reason to celebrate all week long here as Newfoundland currently in 2nd place. But they trail right now, Alberta 5-4 as they are in their 5th end break. Let's go over and cover a few of the rocks on sheet E. Ontario and the Territories, stone by Tim Belcourt, the Ontario 2nd, with the Territories leading Ontario 3-2 playing the 5th end. Belcourt with the hit and stick, and right now Ontario lies 1 just at the back of the 4. 2 stones right on the edge of the 8-foot. One, the yellow one, belongs to the Territories. The other one belongs to Ontario. We'll keep an eye on that game, and we'll show you all the important shots of this 12th round of the 1987 Labatt Brier. You haven't missed a thing right here on TSN. Let's get back to our game, Alberta, Newfoundland, as we get ready to start the 6th end of play. Alberta leading 5-4 in a very big game for Pat Ryan. Currently with a record of 4-3, needs to pick up a win. Another loss would really make things tough for him.
Well, it was interesting to hear Pat's comments, and we've definitely noticed a little bit of change in the ice, and a change for the better as far as I'm concerned, because it's really moving well across the center line. So you're going to see lots more stones being, getting in behind those center line guards. So the ice has been good all week, but it's even a little bit better today, I think.
Newfoundland with that blank in the 5th end contains or maintains control of the hammer, and so it is Roy Hebert, the Alberta lead, to get us going here in the 6th.
Well, we're locked in a great game, Vic, and Mark has really kind of, made a good effort at the last end to try and get his 2 points, and then he recognized the fact that it wasn't setting up for him properly, and he defended it through, and that was a good hit and split or hit and roll out, and he just keeps continually showing us what the amount of knowledge he has. And here's another good call. I mean, that rock of Roy's slipped to the back of the tee line, back into the 12-foot, and Mark is ignoring it and throwing up the corner guard, and it's exactly what he should do. He's got to get something going. He knows he's playing a top team. The key here is that you got to make these shots. You can't be slipping into the rings, otherwise Alberta gets a chance to hit and lie too. Good shot by Robert Thomas. Just comes up short of the rings, and you can see what Pat Ryan is doing. He's just going to split it off. It's close enough that maybe he can roll it in too. Roll the shooter in, Vic. There's the call. Thank you, Pat.
The second stone for Roy Hebert.
He's got it well outside. He really winged it. I don't think it'll curl quite that much. It might get a corner. Wait. That's one of those stones you kind of talk to as they're going down. Get over, get over, get over.
Sometimes they don't listen though, do they?
I told you a long time ago when we first started, the rocks can hear. That's why we talk to them. You lean and you pull and you... Another good call by Mark Noseworthy. Corner guard is going to try the other side, and he'll continue this pattern. He'll keep trying this corner guard till he gets one nose hit, and then he gets that nose hit, and he'll go. And if they split all the corner guards off, he'll play the freeze to the back one.
Don Walchuk. Peels it off.
Put it up again, Mark. There he goes. You'll get a note. You know, you're looking for, you know, just for those of you that are, you know, following along and kind of trying to make sure, you know, follow the strategy of the game. He's looking for a nose hit here. Something to go around, something to hide behind. Try and set up the possible deuce. Out-turn draw.
Come on. Come on.
Don Walchuk in his second stone. Again, looking for that peel.
And staying within his average. He's the top second in the Brier. Just one. And that's what Mark wanted. He really buzzed that one. I think maybe threw a little more weight than Pat had.
Right.
That rock is still going, I think. He really threw that one. That's not characteristic of Don. You see what he asked? Just, I can read lips too. He asked, did I put it back? I must have put it back, he said. Okay.
Let's go over to sheet B, Ray. Final stone for Saskatchewan, or for Nova Scotia, pardon me. Skip Ted Henniger facing 3 BC counters, but it's wide open. He gets the nose, it stays there. Nova Scotia counts one in the 5th, and as they take their break, BC Bernie Sparks leads 6-2.
Hurry! Come on!
Here's the out-turn draw around this corner guard. You want to get it around and get it buried. They're really brushing it. They got to buy. They got to buy. I think it's got great line.
Look at Eugene Trickett, up and down, up and down. Come on, boys, get it there, and they do into the top of the 8th.
Ice is really working nicely today. You know, it's that's why you're going to be able to see a lot more come-arounds. What a good shot by Gino. He, you know, really perfect weight. Let's take another look at it. That's what we're seeing again, Vic. And a smile, you bet. Here it comes, and they really brush it to get it by. And it's the perfect weight. It's 2 things. It's fully buried, it's shot rock, it's 3 things, and it's in front of the tee line.
What a good bunch of guys.
More money.
More money.
Spent all mine on presents for you.
Send more money. Good for you, Gino.
The Alberta third, this is Randy Ferbey and his first stone.
try and run it off. A bit interesting call here. Now, you can split the rings and lie 2, or you can put the corner back up and cover it. He's down to Randy Perry's first stone, so he feels that he can exchange rocks now. He's going to draw to the open side to lie 2. The other thing you could do is draw to the face of the back stone. Randy just establishing, make sure where he wants it. He's just playing an ordinary in-turn draw. Ordinary. He has to be full in the 8-foot to lie 2.
The Newfoundland third, Randy Perry, and his first stone playing the 6th end. Alberta leading 5-4.
These are big shots. This is just a draw, but it's a big shot. It's got to be there. You get a chance to get 2 points, and you've got to take advantage of your chances.
Take a look. Take a look.
Take a look is right. That stone belongs to those 2 brushers. They know where it's supposed to go, and they're the ones that are going to judge it. It's a good shot. You know, Pat has to be careful when he runs off, hitting this one. He doesn't want to drive it back onto his own stone, sitting in the back of the 12-foot at the 6 o'clock position, top of the 12-foot. So you want to hit this and roll over in front of the Newfoundland second shot. Right there. That's where he wants it. Thank you. Establish the weight. Some hand signals. Exactly what he wanted. What a good shot. We're being treated to some great curling now, Vic, by both teams.
The second stone of Randy Ferbey.
For the purist that knows this game, I'm sure they'd recognize you're seeing some great shot making. Still a good opportunity. Randy Perry's going to play this quietly. You saw Mark's hand signal. Keep the weight down. He's playing an in-turn. He wants to hit this on the center line side, pushing it back out of the rings and rolling over to the other side again. Big shot for Randy Perry. He's got a little come up pretty hard. They jump on it right away. Remember, it really works here. It really curls. He doesn't want to drive it back onto his own. Now they're on it again, so that's always a good sign. Because he got it past. Great shot. Doesn't roll too far. What a good shot. You're just seeing some fine shot making by both teams.
Best shot, best weight control.
Perfect weight is right. He got them spread out again, and that's...
roll on top of ours even.
Ray, let's go over to sheet A. Final stone for Manitoba. And Skip, Brian Fowler has one buried. One at the top of the 12, not quite touching. And look at the shot that Fowler pulls off. He gets the little wick. He splits the one on. The shooter goes in, counts 3. So as they play 7, it's 6-1 Manitoba. Over to sheet E. Territories leading 3-2 over Ontario. Final shot, Al Dulmich. There is one Ontario stone buried. You'll see it there, the red rock, top 8. He needs to get at least a good part of the 8. Touch the 4. He comes up short. And so as they take their 5th end break, it is now tied 3-3.
Here's the shot. He's going to roll it out, I think. Good chance. Now Mark has to exchange one more shot. He's going to make this draw to the open side, which he's going to do now.
Yeah.
And if Pat hits and sticks, then he's got to hit and stick for 2 points and take a 1-point lead. And it all started, Vic, with a corner guard and a great shot by Eugene Trickett. He got the nose hit he wanted. Here's another look at this shot. Hits it a little thin, and it rolls across. He wanted to hit it a little thicker and roll in front of his own. It rolls between those 2 stones. You couldn't do that if you tried, could you?
You need a fight the 8.
Out-turn draw and a big one again.
Mark Noseworthy, the Newfoundland skip. This is his first stone.
He said, whoa all the way. Got lots of weight. You worry about it. No, he doesn't want to miss this one.
And he just did.
Yeah. Well, there's no explanation needed. They played a super end and set up the possibility of 2 points, and now he's going to be staring at 2. Just came out too hard, too fast. And
Yeah. Put it back a bit. Yeah, you both put them back a bit. I didn't expect you to put it back.
we're talking about the releases. Just put it back a bit, he said. We're talking about the shot that Don missed.
Pat Ryan in his final stone here in the 6th end.
It's going to curl a long way. Don't think he's going to stay. Oh, he did. He did stay. He hit his zone, so.
Want to try a double? Do we take one? Oh,
Mark, I think, you know, if you try the double and you happen to hit and roll out and don't get it, you're going to give up one. My feeling is to take your single point here. And
It's only 6th, huh? It's 6th end. You still got lots to work with.
You can't afford to let Alberta steal another point. The double would be great. You get the blank, fine. But if you don't get it, if you drive it back wrong, we'll try and listen to Mark for a minute. If you drive it back wrong, Vic, and you give up a steal of 1 point, it really does turn the game over. Take your 1 point, move on to this, the 7th end, and you're all tied up. This is anybody's game right now. Also psychologically, again, I keep hating to harp on all that, but it's really important.
The final stone of the 6th end for Newfoundland. And skip Mark Noseworthy facing a couple of Alberta counters, looking to hit and stick and count 1.
Well, the brushes feel good about this, Vic. And the other thing about it is he just missed a draw, so it's great to come back and make a draw.
So he makes the draw, and he will count 1. And after 6 complete ends of this 12th round game in the 1987 Labatt Brier, it's Alberta 5 and Newfoundland 5.
Basketball.
Clean. All right.
Manitoba with that big 3 in the 6th has really jumped out in front of Saskatchewan. They're leading 6-1 now, playing the 7th. They go to the 6th end, and BC continues to lead Nova Scotia 6-2 in a very big game for Bernie Sparks. Quebec has picked up 1 to lead New Brunswick 2-1 as they play the 5th end. 5-5, that's our game as we go to the 7th, Alberta, Newfoundland. And they're just starting the 6th over on Sheet E. Ontario and the Territories 3-3 after the Territories led at 1 point, 3-0.
Robert Thomas put his first rock out in front on the center line, and Pat Ryan had Roy Hebert split it off, and then you're looking at Robert Thomas's second shot, and he put it back in the front again, right on the center line. And Pat's going to split it. He'll try and hit this and roll to the corner. Now he doesn't want to roll this off. He wants to roll over to one of the corners. You can see they're leading because they want it to stay there. Good shot. Mark's going to play another rock out in front. He's asking Eugene Trickett, Gino, to put one on the center line out in front, same spot. And that's what he should be doing, in my opinion, anyway. He's got to keep the pressure, keep forcing, keep forcing.
The first stone for Eugene Trickett. Right on the center line.
There's a situation. Good shot by Gino, and Pat's going to run it off. Don's first stone. There's the spill. What he wanted. Going back to the corner guard that Don Walchuk missed in the last end, you know, I suggested maybe he threw a little more weight than Pat had wanted, but they established, we heard them talking, and he said no, you just put it back a bit, so he just sort of straightened it out, which he probably doesn't do very often. Obviously doesn't do very often. You look at his percentages this week.
Eugene Trickett and his second stone.
It's kind of exciting as we get to the end of this, Brier. You know, Vic, you can feel it. You know, I know I certainly can.
There's
pressure,
some very big games out here.
Take it easy.
New Brunswick, Quebec. New Brunswick really can't afford another loss. They're 5-3. Kevin Adams continues to play so well out of the Glenmore Club in Montreal.
Sure does. Well, you know, this is the trouble when you try this, and this rock is a long way out. You kind of had to get that a little closer, and Pat Ryan is not opposed to going around them, and that's exactly what he's asking Don Walchuk to do with his last stone. And when you put a rock on the center line, and Mark knows that, this is the chance you have to take, and now the game is on. There's going to be some rocks in play. But Pat Ryan is saying to himself, okay, I'll get my 2 points inside the 4-foot if that's what you want me to do. And you can only do that if you have top-line players with you, quality players, because the shots have to be made. And you just saw one right there.
Well, sit down. We want him to take one, right?
A great shot by Don. We get a good look at it from the back here. You can see that, you know, it's, what, 3/4 behind the guard, or half behind the guard, in front of the tee line. Mark and Randy, it's kind of... We'll try and listen to what they have to say.
Newfoundland third, Randy Perry. And this will be his first stone here in the 7th end in a 5-5 tie.
He hasn't given us a call, Vic. Maybe we'll get a look at it now. He's not taking very much ice, so he's going to try and just punch it out of there with about, you know, back ring or hack weight. Let's see. It's got the line, I think, and the weight. Looks like a pretty good shot to me. You don't want to lose it.
They do.
Great shot by Randy.
Drop. What's that? There's no need to get you drawing up. I don't want to get further over. We'll get a chance to roll now.
Pat Ryan will try and get the roll back in behind that center line guard. He'd love to roll right across the rings in behind the corner. That would be great.
The Alberta third, Randy Ferbey, will try and get the hit and roll with his first stone.
Wants to roll. Not going to get it. So it's a good chance for Randy Perry to maybe get that roll in behind the center line. He wants it behind the center line. He'd like to roll behind his own stone. The one sitting out in front of the ring is just off the center line. Another big crowd, Rick.
Well, we can't put any more people in here. It holds just under 4,000, and they have had sold-out crowds since the opening ceremonies, and they'll have them right through to the final here at the Agricom. And great crowds too. Loud crowds. Really get into it.
That Brier patch is just a bopping, isn't it? Nose hit. Both teams looking for this roll.
Same thing.
Out-turn hit.
Randy Ferbey, second stone.
Kind of fingered it a little bit. Did he get it outside? You can see just as he released it, he fingered it a bit. They're brushing it now. So, you know, Pat's going to try and roll it over the edge and get it away from that center line guard. Mark's got to hit it. He doesn't have advantage of last rock.
Need a good roll or he's going to come around. I got to make sure I stay, but I want to roll.
You see, what he's saying is that we need to roll it, you know, closer into the 8-foot. If you hit it on the nose and stay right there, Pat's liable to ignore it and draw around that guard.
Rob.
It's massive.
The Newfoundland skip, Mark Noseworthy, and his first stone.
You don't want to roll out here. I think he's going to. That's what he didn't want. It gives Pat Ryan, you know, a free chance. And you can see he sure didn't take much time to decide, did he?
Ray, let's go over to the center sheet, sheet C. Final stone for New Brunswick and skip Gerry Mitchell. He lies 1 at the 4-foot. There is 1 stone, a yellow stone, belongs to Quebec, back 12. He's trying to draw up to it, just bump it back nicely to score 3 there. And so New Brunswick scores 3 in the 6th. And as they go to the 7th, they lead Quebec 4-2.
Big,
One of yours
big
seemed to wander out at the start when we were cleaning it. Oh, okay, well, don't do that.
Here's a look at it now. He wants to get around this guard, top of the 8-foot, top of the 4-foot.
Hard to be light.
Good chance for Pat Ryan. He's really fought his way back in this game, and he'd love to get 2 points here and take a little control. Here's a free chance, a free shot. Really moving, really moving. Gonna get it by, get it by. No, sir. They'd love to get it in, otherwise Mark Noseworthy has a chance to draw around.
Doesn't make it.
No. Here's a good chance for Mark. He'll go around that, his own stone, the long guard out in front. There it is there, it comes into your view now. Just taking on the edge of the button. So it's a good indication of how much the ice is working.
This is the chance we wanted. We want to force him to take one. We got to tuck it right around and so good that he got to draw.
Attaboy, Mark.
All right.
That's exactly what he wants to do. Force him to take one. And you got to chase him in the 8th. You really got to go after him. A little more ice. Either that or he's looking for a ride downtown.
Final stone of this 7th end for Newfoundland and skip Mark Noseworthy.
Here it comes. They got the weight. Now he had it. He wants to bury it. The boys want to get it there.
Keep it moving. Come on.
He's got a good looking shot to me.
Eugene Robert working the brushes and they get it there. Full 8-foot.
Good shot by Mark. Pat's going to move up the ice and take a look at this. He's going to move up and look at the angle. He's moved to the center of the sheet. And he's going to play the hit. He's going to try and split it out.
He's going to show the wave. Huh? He's going to show that good wave ice. He's in trouble.
Good brushing, good sweeping. They just get it by. And it's about 3/4 covered. But Pat's going to try and split it out. Let's take a look at it. I'll tell you, you know, you can't see a lot of it. I know it works a little bit. He's got to just get by the front one. You can see about 1/4 of the stone, maybe a little bit more than that. He's going to throw a fairly big weight because he's not taking a lot of ice. He's going to try and split this out. He's He's asked Randy Ferbey for a little bit more. That's enough, he says. And here it is, the Ryan Express. He's got lots of weight. It's coming down pretty quick.
Final stone,
He just wants the corner of it. He just wants the corner of it. And that's
and the shooter rolls out as well. And so Pat Ryan makes the shot when he has to as he blanks this 7th end. And we'll have more of this 1987 Labatt Brier, Alberta, Newfoundland when we come back. We're back at the Agricom, and welcome back to this 1987 Labatt Brier 12th round action as we get you caught up on all of the scores. And you'll see that Manitoba now leads 7-1 over Saskatchewan playing the 8th. And it was another steal of 1 by Manitoba as Don Gardner, the Saskatchewan skip, has a chance to hit and stick at least to count 1, but the shooter will roll too far, and it's a steal of 1 for Manitoba. They lead 7-1 playing the 8th. British Columbia, they blank the 6th. They continue to lead big, 6-2 over Nova Scotia. On the center sheet, New Brunswick 4-2 over Quebec on that big 3 by Gerry Mitchell and New Brunswick. In our game, still 5-5 after the blank of 7, now playing the 8th. And a very big end here for Ontario and the Territories, tied 3-3. And this is the final shot for the Territories and skip Al Dalmage. And you can see those 3 red stones. They're all Ontario rocks, so he now has to draw inside and get a full piece of that 4-foot. Remember, the Territories had a 3-0 lead here on Ontario, but now after 1 in the 3rd and a couple of steals, it's all tied up. Final stone of this 6th end for the Territories, and the Yellowknife skip Al Dalmage trying to draw full 4. He needs it or he'll give up 3. Now where will it stop? Will it go too far? No, it stops in time. Now they're going to have a look. And they're going to give it to the Territories. So a good shot for Al Dalmage. The Territories picks up 1, and they take a 4-3 lead going to 7.
Well, the situation here is that Mark Noseworthy played the front stone with Robert Thomas' first one, and Roy Hebert split it off. Robert Thomas put it back up again, and Roy Hebert split it off. And you're now looking at Eugene Trickett's first shot of this end, and he's been asked to play a center line guard again out in front of the rinks. And that's exactly what Mark got. So you'll find that Pat Ryan will walk up and he'll try and hit this and roll to the corner. He'd like to save the shooter, cover one of the corners. Left or right. He wants to roll it right off. A little surprising. Would have thought he wanted the corner there. This is the 8th end. I'm sure he'd like to get a couple here. Eugene Trickett, his second shot. Right back up in front again, looking for a nose hit. Out turn draw. There it is.
Pat Ryan does a little house cleaning before putting down the brush and the second stone for his second, Don Walchuk.
Well, he's obviously looking for the spill, so he got it. Just keeping it clean. Same call. Mark will have Randy Perry put his first stone up in front. Center line. Got to be a little careful here now as you get down near the end of this. This is a long guard. You saw what happened last end.
The Newfoundland third and his first stone.
Pat's liable just to go around it. He definitely wants to keep control of this 8th end, though. He wants to. Good shot by Randy. They'll spill this off again.
Let's peel it.
Let's peel
Randy.
it. His indication there, you know, if I was Mark now, you can see what's happening. He took a little look at it, but it's too tight. Let's peel it, he said.
Randy Ferbey, the Alberta third, and his first stone here in the 8th end of a 5-5 tie, Alberta and Newfoundland. Oh, now.
There's the corner, but it didn't get over far. He would have liked it over a little further. Would have liked it over covering the full 8 foot. I think Mark should go right in behind this now. You want to keep this stone in front of the tee line. It's a big shot for Randy Perry. It's his last one. It's the in-turn draw. Here it is here. And release.
Yeah.
Rushers are watching it. The line looks good. It all depends on his weight. You don't want to slip behind the tee line now. Strong. That's not. It gives Alberta a good opportunity here. There's the call.
Yeah, I'll give you more ice. Yeah, sure.
They've missed a couple of chances like that, right? Newfoundland today.
Yeah, it's a game of opportunities, and that was a good opportunity for Mark to kind of reverse it and turn it over. It now gives Pat Ryan an excellent chance here. They're looking at something on the ice. They've called out the umpire. There's a little bit of a bump, so they'll probably get the ice maker out there. So it's a little bit of a break while we get the ice maker out to clean up the ice surface.
Mark Noseworthy, Randy Perry waiting for the ice maker to arrive. What would develop? How would that develop? How would you get something like that?
Yeah, there just might be, you know, the humidity, or it could be a dripping from someplace. Who knows? Quit asking me those tough questions. So can't really see it too well. It looks like a little bit of a bump, maybe. That's what they kind of said.
Can't really do anything with it. Can't shave it now.
Talk about shaving it down.
You know, they're talking about a bump, because.
Ray, let's go over to sheet B. Final stone for British Columbia, Bernie Sparks. He has one. Nothing's in the house, but he's trying a little split. We've seen one earlier today by Manitoba. He gets a little bit of a wick, but he doesn't drive it back. He'll pick up one. So as they go to the 8th end, it is now British Columbia 7 and Nova Scotia 2. They're ready to go again here on sheet D, and this will be Randy Ferbey and his second stone for the Alberta third.
And a good opportunity. It's the in-turn draw. Took a little more ice. You heard Pat say, let's take a little more ice. And they want this rock in front of the tee line. It's really starting to come now. It's got lots of room.
Clean ice!
Don't lose. Oh, look at that! It just caught something and went sideways. Best to get little hairs from those brushes.
Sure. It's not straw, certainly.
Well, there's no straw out there. How could it be a straw? Straw never does that. Look at it here. It looks perfect. They're just staying off. It's staying all of a sudden. Look at it go sideways.
Right turn.
They just lost it. There's a little hair on the ice. They lost it. Now, Mark, Mark with his first one here has got to take advantage of that little break, because I'll tell you, Randy Ferbey had a good shot. He had good weight. You know, perfect weight he had. It just caught something. Here, they just took a little nick off the ice. And now the brush or the broom to get it out of there.
Bob Thomas over.
Little carpentry work.
Walchuk. Little house cleaning.
We gotta get this in around that.
Well, this is a good chance for Mark if he gets around. He's taking the edge of the 4-foot to try and hide on the other side of the 4-foot. So you're talking about a 4-foot swing.
Yes! Yes! Hooray! Come on! Whoa!
He's got the line. If he's got the weight, it's just a weight shot now.
Whoa! 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 Wait! Wait!
He's got the weight. Here it comes. Now they jump on it.
Get it around and up, Ray.
Well, they had to leave it because it was just staying out a bit, but I think it's about half buried. But you can see, Pat can see it because he's walking up quickly and he's putting the brush down. So he's playing the hit. They had to get it back a little further. There it is. You see it from the front. It's 7/8 open, almost fully open.
Ray, let's go over to sheet C. Final stone for Quebec, Kevin Adams. There's one New Brunswick stone buried. He has a chance if he can raise that one back, punch out the red rock. Now will the raised rock hold up? It does, and so Quebec scores 2, and they go to the 8th. All tied up 4-4 with New Brunswick.
What a shot, eh? That's why he's in first place, making raised takeouts for 2. I'll tell you, those are big shots, and to win this event, you have to make big shots. Here's the situation we're looking at. In-turn hit. You can see the full stone.
This will be the first stone for the Alberta skip, Pat Ryan.
He's got the good line. He wants to roll it behind the guards if he can get it. Look at this here. He's going to touch the front one. Well, if I was Mark, I'd come down and just touch that back. Either that or play the straight guard, but I think I'd really put it to him. I'd come down and just move that back and sit in front of it. You can be half behind the corner.
Well, tap it up.
You bet.
If we can keep the shooter and just push it in a little bit so there's no double, and you got to draw.
See, this is the thing we've tried to maybe stress over the week, how fundamentally sound they are. They play it very well. They know the shots. They just know everything, all the situations.
Straight back, so it'll double greedy hard while you force him to draw.
Yeah, I like it. Turn. Good opportunity.
The final stone of this 8th end.
He sure throws good. You know, he's got a great release, especially as on an in-turn, as Eddie says. Look at it go now, though. He really started to move. Better play the guard. It just took off on him. He had lots of weight.
Still covers a bit for Pat Ryan.
Oh, it's half covered, but Pat, you know, you make a good shot there.
Normal.
I don't know what happened here. They were off and on, and then all of a sudden they just started to move across. So the ice is maybe getting a little swingier as we move through the game. And they need to sweep it all, brush it all the way to try and guard the back one. Pat's going to play it. He's going to play it with pretty good weight. Try and chip it out, blank the end.
Is it little hairs? Yeah. Somebody's got a bad broom.
Somebody's got a bad brush. He's saying there's little hairs all over the ice. That's been a problem since the brush has become such a factor. Here it is. To try and pick it out. A little less, he says. He's going to throw some weight at it for sure. These are his favorite kind of shots.
The final stone of this 8th end.
He's got great line. If he gets it by, he's got it by. He's got it by. Yes, sir.
There it is.
Stays for one. He won the rule out.
Toby continues to lead 7-2 over Saskatchewan as they play the 9th end. BC, it's also 7-2, leading Nova Scotia in the 8th. New Brunswick and Quebec, they're tied 4-4 after that great shot by Quebec in the 7th. They're now playing the 8th end. In our game, Alberta moves in front 6-5 as we go to the 9th. And the Territories with a 4-3 lead over Ontario playing the 7th end.
Well, Pat Ryan asked for the first stone of this end out in front on the center line, but it slipped into the rings. Roy Hebert threw it a little too hard. It slipped into the rings, and so Robert Thomas hit it with the out-turn hit and stayed, and this is the situation you're looking at now. Roy Hebert playing an out-turn hit on the stone that's in the rings about 11 o'clock, half and 12 and 8.
Right off.
Half and 8.
Clean.
And there's the hit and stick. Well, you know, kind of a missed opportunity for Mark the last end. He could have put a little pressure on Pat by you know, making him face 2 and making him draw, but the Rocks seem to cut on him. It's been a good curling game, and it can go either way right now. And it's a big game for Pat Ryan.
Well, they sure started with a bang. Each rink getting 3. Newfoundland in the first end. Alberta coming back with 3 in the second.
This is a good. That's a very good shot by Robert Thomas, because he gets the outside roll to the, you know, to the 10 o'clock position in the 12-foot, and if he can get a hit and roll out here, or a hit on the nose and it's not in the rings, then he can go to the other side, maybe play the corner guard and try and get something going.
The Alberta second, Don Walchuk, and this is his first stone, playing the 9th end.
No. Right off.
Got it outside there.
Come on.
Okay, Mark Noseworthy, what are you going to do now? You bet. Corner guard. Eugene Trickett.
His first stone for the Newfoundland second. The house wide open.
Want it over now. They got it. Page 33 in the manual. Well, Pat Ryan's decided that the way of defending against this corner guard, of course, is to run up and split it off. You can put your own center line guard up, or you can go in behind it. Now, in going in behind, which he's doing, Don Walchuk has got to keep his stones in front of the tee line. Otherwise, they'll work against him. He's got the good line. You can take away the corner guard by being behind it in front of the tee line. You cannot slip behind the tee line. You got to get behind, or you let him play the hit and roll on you. Pretty good shot. Here's the call. Let's just touch it back. kind of hard to tell from this particular position. I know how much it's behind. But it must be about 3/4 covered, I would think, by lining up the ice.
Eugene Trickett and his second stone.
You got a 5?
Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on, right up!
Hasn't got a lot of weight.
Right up! Come on!
Pretty good shot. It just didn't move it quite far enough.
Ray, let's slip over to sheet A. 9th then, final stone for Manitoba. Skip Brian Fowler facing one Saskatchewan stone buried top of the 4. But that center of that ice looks a little fast. Little slick, and he'll slide too far. So it is another one, a steal of 1 for Saskatchewan in the 9th, and they'll go to the 10th with Manitoba leaving 7-3.
Here's the situation. So you could see how well covered that stone was, and Eugene put a pretty good shot. He just came down. He just didn't quite push it hard enough. But the end is committed now, and Pat Ryan is playing a guard. So the game is on in this particular situation. And a mistake here by any one of these two teams could be a victory.
Randy Ferbey and his first stone.
It's coming right into the rings. He wants to angle freeze it on the front one, and that's exactly what he's got. Good shot. There it lies. I don't think they can do anything with that stone. I think you got to try and get around.
How's that? All right. Just draw away.
And freeze onto the back one. I think he'll try and freeze onto the Alberta stone that sits just outside the 4 foot at the 3 o'clock position. Dick, there's the call right there. If he can get that angled on there, he's in good shape. But I'll tell you what, you better make it now. It'll be closed off to you. Here it is.
The Newfoundland third, Randy Perry.
Wow! Wow!
You'll see the rocks come into view in a moment. Here it is. He wants to angle this on. He's got to get it by the front one. They got a pretty good line. Is the weight there, Vic? I think he's got a good shot. Now it's starting to dig in a bit. He needs to angle it on right now.
Oh, my.
Right there.
Ray, over on sheet B, final stone, Nova Scotia, Ted Henniger facing a couple of BC counters, one biting the 4, one back 12, and he makes the perfect draw, a little tap back to count 1. So as they play 9, BC leads 7-3 over Nova Scotia.
Well, here's the situation, and it's a good view of it from behind. You can see that stone that Randy Perry just put in there. It's shot rock. And all Randy Ferbey's going to do is come down and sit on top of it. It's staying out a bit. It all depends on his weight. Staying way out. It's not coming. He doesn't want to touch it over any further. Oh, not a bad shot, but we'll probably get a look at it now. I'll tell you, I think that if the boys from Newfoundland make a good shot here.
Leave that one there, roll my shooter over. I'll just hit if he can roll him behind. What's he going to do? You can't play a raised takeout. You can't make a takeout if you can roll behind. Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, the only thing about it is you could roll my shooter right over there. Look where the yellow one is, buried behind there.
This is the key, and this is the game right here, Vic.
I see what you mean. We can hit and roll over here a bit.
We're at least there. We're bearing.
Okay, I like it. Neat.
Well, they first talked about, you know, hitting it and rolling in behind the corner. And Randy says, look, if we hit it on the nose, you know, we'll drive our own onto the Alberta stone and remove it. It'll be more buried, is what he said.
No more.
And we'll roll into the open. He could actually lie 3 off of this. You heard what he said. I want to roll my shooter over a little bit. Just wants to hit it off the center on the center line side. That'll kill both the Alberta stones.
Randy Perry.
A big shot here is going to turn this right over.
Hurry! Hurry! Hurry!
It's got a good looking line.
Hurry!
Oh, yes! Oh.
Try the double. On the nose isn't the worst, I don't.
Well, there's a choice here to be made by Pat. He could play the double. Here it is again. Let's take another look at it. Good shot. He wanted to even hit it a little bit on the center line side more. He would have rolled the shooter a little further, but it's a great shot. He gets rid of both Alberta stones. He's lying 3, and Mr. Ryan now has to come up with a big shot. He can make the double, but in making the double, Vic, he would lose the shooter.
Because he'd have to hit it so thinly.
Well, he had to hit it on the outside, so the shooter would roll away.
And that would still leave
It may only roll over, excuse me, it may only roll over to the 8-foot, but would allow Mark to hit it. That's right, to hit it in lie 2.
Starts to bend, we'll take it for the roll.
He already said, we're going to play the double, but if it starts to bend, we'll take it for the roll. The roll to the inside. You'll still be lying 1, but they'll take the 8-foot away from Mark. Good look at it. Boy, he really threw it, I'll tell you that much. It's coming down a mile a minute.
This is Orion's Express.
Uh-oh.
And he drives it right through.
I'll tell you, if Mark Noseworthy gets the hit and the roll into where he's pointing right now, it could be lights out for Alberta.
You wait.
He really buzzed it.
Possibility of what, 4-ender here?
Well, 3 could be 4, but 3 for sure. But you got to make a good shot here.
Move it. All right, you just don't want to lose it on the other side, right? No, I was just thinking, make sure you don't drop it any. No, I thought my weight was good, and I thought that came up an awful lot.
When you get within, there's a curl there, right?
Yeah.
So we get, as you weren't bad enough last time. You wouldn't have been a bit tight, and that's why I came up even with that big weight. But now, size here. Anyway, if I would on the stick. No, let's make sure we hang around. Right here would be perfect roll.
You bet it would be. If he gets the roll to where he indicated, you would be able to pry it out of there.
Need a roll there, guys.
Roll in, roll out.
Roll in. We're going for all the marbles here.
Good for you, Mark. Let's go for the marbles. And that's the kind of attitude, that's the kind of thinking that it takes to win a Canadian championship. You've got to think that way, and you just can't say the words, you've got to believe them.
The first stone for Mark Noseworthy, Newfoundland skip.
It's the biggest shot of this Brier for this young skipper from Newfoundland. He wants a roll on the inside, and that's what he got.
Oh, and look at that, and even Robert Thomas going down over that stone. The guard out in front.
Well, Robert Thomas says he hit the front rock.
This rock was half open. It was half open before.
Well, maybe.
Pat Ryan saying that guard out in front was moved.
Huh?
Touching Gerry with his foot?
Yeah, with your sweeper as it was coming by.
Yeah, they're talking about whether he hit the front rock with his foot.
Exposed before. I could have hit it. Now it's buried.
Which way did I come around the guard? I don't even remember that. I went in or out. I know my foot.
Let's see if he does. Watch his feet here. He steps over. Oh, yes, he definitely hit it. He definitely hit it with his foot. There's no question.
Yeah, I kicked it out toward the board.
Where's the replay?
Right there. Bottom there. It was on the inside. You see him show it again.
All right, we'll show it for them.
I came across and kicked it out.
Here it is again. You can see his feet. Watch his feet here. He tries to step over it. His foot pulls it, and he kicks it forward, up the sheet a little bit.
Yeah, it was kicked in.
He kicked it in towards the center a bit.
The rock was, what, half exposed?
Maybe the ice official has transport back.
I'll tell you, it makes a big difference because, Vic, if that rock is exposed so he can see it a little bit, then they can play, Ryan can play his front one, and he could definitely make a triple. He could kill all those Newfoundland stones. You can see how it's lined up, the angle of it. If he hits his own stone, he could spill the two that are frozen together, and when the second shot rock goes by the front one, it would kill the back one. He could get all three stones. What he can do, and it's there, if it's exposed enough, and Pat Ryan is looking at it, he can come down in this area here, like so, hit this, that'll go that way, this will come this way, and kill that one.
I played that blank here, remember? Ran fairly, didn't bust that big.
Now it depends on how much you can see.
Peel weight.
And that's exactly what he's trying, and this is a Ryan shot.
So the officials here at this 1987 Labatt Brier using a TSN replay.
The TSN, hey Vic?
And moving that rock back. Oh, it's quite obvious.
There's no charge for that either, I don't think.
It looks quite obvious that Rob Thomas brought it in, just cuffed it a little bit with the instep.
Yeah, he did. Well, I think he's going to play the shot I mentioned to you. He can see it a little bit now, and he was right. It was exposed a little bit before, and he's going to play it. And this is a Pat Ryan favorite right here. This is the kind of shot he loves to play, and I hate to say this, it's the kind of shot he makes on a lot of occasions. And it's a big shot for Pat Ryan. Here it is. He's really threw it, I'll tell you. Is he throwing too much weight? I don't think he's going to catch the back one. Yes, he is. 1, 2.
Will they hang around?
He got the double. So he's going to try and go around this rock that's just sitting in the center, and he's going to try and get something to get himself back in the game. Unfortunately, he just chips it. And
the shot of the Saskatchewan third, Gerry. Ray, let's move over to sheet D. Territories, Prince Edward Island, and there you see the situation. Right now, that red rock